Hey everyone, what's up? Jeff exclamation point here. Alright, another theater trip. So far I've seen a couple of shows, everything's been amazing so far. But tonight we are seeing a show that is currently in previews. It is not officially open. It is the new Andrew Lloyd Webber musical called Bad Cinderella. I know this show is in London under the title of Cinderella. As they are transferring it to Broadway, they retitled it and retooled the show and made it Bad Cinderella. I'm going to be honest with you. My expectations for this show are very low. Now also, this is previews, they're not officially open. They could totally tweak this show before they actually have the official opening. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to see what it's like. So let's go in. We're in the Imperial Theater. Last time I was here, I saw Ain't Too Proud, and I will post that vlog in the link, one of those like up above, and it'll be in the description down below. But anyways, let's go in and see what the show's all about. When this show opened up in London in the West End, it had a troubled start with the COVID pandemic. The show ran for a little over a year, closing in August of 2022. When they brought it to Broadway, they decided to give the show a new name, a new cast, and made changes to the music and lyrics. Here are the prices for tonight's performance. There we go, here is the merch. And then here. And I picked up the coffee mug and of course the magnet. Alright, here we are, we're in the theater. I am in ROUGE, pretty much center for this. There is where the stage looks like. This is in wide angle too, so you guys can see a little bit of it. But the theater is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous in here. So looking over here at the stage, just look at the details. This proscenium is very beautiful. Alright, these always amaze me, gang. But look at that chandelier. Oh, it's beautiful. Also, in this theater, I have spotted a disco ball. And I don't know if you can hear it in the video, but there's the sound of birds chirping in here. Alright, we are in Intermission, and I made it all the way up to the front stage. Here is the stage. You can see a little bit right there. That's a bit of the turntable. This is a very turntable heavy show. Well, let's look at this theater. This theater is just absolutely gorgeous. So I have a lot to say about this show. A lot. But we're in intermission right now. I'm going to wait for the second act, and then we'll have the talk. So I will see you once the show is over. the show is over. I want to talk about this show because I'm very, very mixed on this show. And I want to collect my thoughts and figure out the best way to describe it. So let me do that. And it might be the next day before I actually film what I thought about the show. But you're going to hear me say this a few times. You just need to remember, oh yeah, I'm right there with Moulin Rouge. Moulin Rouge is getting out. I saw that show too. I'll put a link above in the description below. But yeah, give me a day because I'm just very conflicted on that show. I'll be back to you. Alright everyone, it is the next day. I am hanging out here in the center of the world in Times Square, and let's talk about Bad Cinderella. Alright, I'm going to start off by saying this show is in previews. Please remember when I say that, it is not officially open, it is in previews, and they can completely change the entire show before opening day. Let's start with the cast. It is one of the most amazing casts you will see on Broadway right now. That cast is phenomenal. The role of Prince Sebastian. Prince Sebastian is the male lead in the show, was an understudy. The show that I saw. I am going to put the performer's name at the screen at the bottom here because he was the breakout star of that entire show. It was incredible. His solo that he sang blew me away. The audience just lost their freaking minds when he finished it, and he was hands down the best part of that show, and he was the understudy. Blows my mind. Love it. Alright, so I'm going to get into a little bit of the plot of the show. If you do not want to hear what this show is about, you want to leave it as a surprise for you. At the bottom here, I'm going to put the time to skip to in the video. Alright, so the plot of Bad Cinderella. It is not your typical Cinderella musical. The best way I could describe this is it starts off something like the kingdom of far, far away from Shrek. The number one important thing is beauty. All the guys in this show pretty much remain shirtless the entire time, and they are buff and some of the most beautiful men you'll ever see in your life. All the girls are some of the most beautiful girls you'll ever see in your life. The cast is just very pretty, and that is basically what the show is about, beauty. We have learned that Prince Charming has been killed in a battle, I believe, with a dragon, and to celebrate his life, the Queen has erected a statue for Prince Charming. When she unveils it, a giant sign on it says, "Beauty sucks." And everyone knows that was the work of Cinderella. So Cinderella is more punk than she is beautiful, even though the performer who plays Cinderella is drop-dead gorgeous. We have also come to find out that Cinderella and Prince Sebastian have been childhood friends for a very long time, and a little bit of a romance is starting to blossom between the two. Now, there is a giant controversy happening in the kingdom, and what's the best way to tackle a controversy? You need a distraction. In this case, a royal wedding. So the Queen has told Prince Sebastian, you are to get married. We will have a ball Saturday, and on Sunday, you will be wed. So at the stroke of midnight, he is to pick a bride. So he asks Cinderella to please attend the ball. Cinderella doesn't quite know what to think of this, and her stepmother basically convinced her not to go because that was just a formality he gave him, and if she actually showed up, it would be embarrassing for her. So here comes the fairy godmother, who, there's no grand entrance for her or anything. She just kind of appears, just walks out on stage, but they did make a joke about that. And she transforms Cinderella with needing something from her. So think of like Ursula needing Ariel's voice. Well, in this case, it's a trinket. It's a little necklace that was her mother's. Cinderella gives her this trinket, and the fairy godmother transforms her. And are you ready for this one? through the use of plastic surgery. And I'm not gonna lie, it was a little disturbing. Cinderella basically transforms. There was a great quick change to it, and that was pretty much the end of Act 1. And I was kind of flabbergasted with this, a bit in shock. So was some of the audience. And yeah, others were loving it by then. But this was also previews. Please remember, this is previews. We head to Act 2, that is the Royal Ball. Cinderella appears, all transforms, and the prince wants nothing to do with her. He calls her basic. He doesn't recognize that it is actually Cinderella. And at the stroke of midnight, one of the stepsisters plants a kiss on Prince Sebastian, and now they are to be wed. Cinderella runs away in tears, transforms herself back, because, you know, the stroke of midnight, she re-transforms, and Prince Sebastian pretty much now has turned to a cold heart, accepted his fate in marrying not for love but for duty, and the next day is the wedding. As he said, "I do," and the stepsister's about to say, "I do," Prince Charming makes his return and saves the day, saves his little brother from a wedding he did not want, but he announces a wedding will still happen, and we meet his partner, who is another guy. So Prince Charming in the show is gay. We have the gay wedding, which, I'm not gonna lie, was awesome to see. The whole crowd erupted with this. Oh yeah, and Prince Charming is a bodybuilder who was half naked the whole time. Yeah, so we have the wedding, and Cinderella's not there. Here's the wedding bells in the distance, and now she thinks Prince Sebastian is married, and she is going to leave the kingdom. Of course, as soon as Prince Sebastian realizes this and runs to go get her, the fairy godmother approaches her and gives her a little trinket to remember Cinderella by, with a necklace that her mother gave her. He eventually finds her, gives her the necklace, they kiss, and live happily ever after. That is the plot of the show. Now let's get into this. The set was absolutely amazing. It was one of the most beautiful sets I've seen on stage. It was very rich, it was very lavish. They used a turntable a lot, and the way they utilized that turntable was really cool, especially going in and out of crowd scenes, how the set pieces worked, how things were being moved in the shadows. They did a really good job. The costumes in the show were beautiful. Holy cow. So you could definitely tell they put their money into the show with the sets, the costumes, and the lighting. Those three things were top notch. Here's the problems that I found with the show. It had to do with the music, the lyrics, and the script. If I had known kind of what to expect going into the show, I think I really would have enjoyed it more than what I did. It is very lowbrow humor. They also had a lot of sexual innuendos in there that bordered on the point of being vulgar. A couple of things that were extremely shocking to hear, especially in a show that was geared towards such a young audience. And let me tell you, when I went there, it was a very mixed crowd because this is previews, it's something new, it's Andrew Lloyd Webber. I was kind of disappointed with the fact that you didn't get the great Andrew Lloyd Webber sound that I absolutely love hearing. It was very heavy in the electric guitar. Whenever the performers sang, the lyrics were just, they were very simple. There was nothing complex. At one point, I almost felt insulted with how unintelligent the lyrics and the music were. But I will say the title song in there is definitely an earworm, which is still playing in my head as I'm recording this the next day. Oh, here we go. We got to cross the street. We got 5 seconds. For me, the absolute highlight of this show is seeing the understudy perform. He was absolutely amazing. This was pretty much his Broadway debut in a title role, and you could tell his friends and family were in that audience to support him. The audience loved him, and I loved it in the curtain call. And if you noticed, as the curtain was going down, he started celebrating. and it was great to see. I'm going to say the first act, and this is kind of the people around me, I was kind of chatting with them about the show. The first act was really not that good. The second act really got good. So the second act's definitely better than the first act. During intermission, I was struggling with the show, and I just started talking to some of the people around me, and they were thoroughly enjoying it. So whenever I bought my ticket for this, I was asking some of the TKTS people what they've heard about the show, and they said very mixed stuff. And that is exactly how I feel about this show. I'm very mixed about it. I thought it was horrible, and I thought it was wonderful. I kind of would like to go see it again, knowing what that show is about, and have that mindset going in of lowbrow humor. But I have to say, every single guy in that show was ridiculously hot and attractive, and they were all shirtless. A good 80% of that show. So if you're in New York and you're a huge Andrew Lloyd Webber fan, and you want to go see the new thing, go see it. But I'm also going to say there's much better shows out right now. Currently, out of everything I've seen so far, Some Like It Hot. Some Like It Hot. That show was so good. If this show runs more than a year, I'll be surprised. The reason I really wanted to see it was I don't think it was going to have a very long run. So while I'm here, I might as well. That's my review on Bad Cinderella. Yeah. I hope you like this. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And from New York City, which is my happy place, I'll see you guys later. Take care, everyone. Bye.